those first responders, and that you would bless them in the work that they do, keep them safe. Father, they keep us safe. We're so thankful for the freedoms that we have, and we ask, Father, that you would be with each person who is here tonight, that as this city goes about the business of conducting business, that we would do so in a way that would be beneficial, mutual to all of us, bring honor to our King, our nation, to our city, to our government, and to you. In Christ's name we pray. Amen. Amen.
Thank you. All right, we're going to go to number 5, presentation. We have a special presentation today by Vietnam veteran Eddie Neese to return personal property and dog tag to the family of Lance Corporal David Freed, U.S. Marine, who was killed in action.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. This is a very special evening for us. You know, 1968 was a terrible time in Vietnam. It was the worst year in the history of the war. We had 10 or 68, starting probably about the 21st, 22nd of January, all hell broke loose. We had people fighting in every direction from I Corps all the way down to 4 Corps. We had units overrun, we had people cut off. It was a terrible situation. At that time, we had a young man from Magnolia who was over there. Mr. Freed, Lance Corporal Freed. He went on over, he served his country, and you know, they talk about Vietnam, they said everybody gave some, and some gave all. Well, he was one of the fellows who gave his all. He gave every bit of it, and he was killed in Vietnam. Unfortunately, when we go to war, America sends off their best kids. They're the ones that will stand up and fight for the country and go out and do what nobody else wants to do. And unfortunately, it's a terrible cost. No matter how many we lose, it's a terrible cost. At the same time, Lance Corporal Freed was over there. We had another gentleman, Mr. Eddie Neese. Now he's Sergeant Major Eddie Neese. He's got more awards and decorations on his jacket than General Westmore. I haven't seen anything quite like that. He was over there at the same time. Again, a hero in his own right. Decorated, 3 Purple Hearts, wounded 3 times. Back and forth and out, made a career out of the military. Another outstanding American. Well, on a recent trip, he found out some stuff that was very interesting. And being the good American that he is, he brought it back home to us here in Magnolia. So without any more ado, I'd like to introduce Sergeant Major Eddie.
Before I start, I want to introduce a couple of friends that drove us from Parkland, Texas to be here tonight. Mike Heath, Marine I served with 30 years ago in California. Jerry Earhart, member of my platoon in Vietnam, who drove up from Beaumont, Texas. 50 years ago this month, I arrived in Vietnam at a place called Hoi An in August of 1967. I want to tell you a little bit about me. My name is Eddie Neese. How do you like me so far? And that's all you're going to get. Hello and good evening. There may be many words to describe what we are doing here tonight. I am not sure that celebrating can be one of them. But we are certainly here to remember and honor a Marine who died 49 years ago next month. When I was at the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Wall in Washington, D.C. this past Memorial Day, I heard this comment from the sister of a soldier who was speaking at the wall. Her brother's name is on the wall like David's, and she said, "Wars are started and they are ended, but they are never over." at a time like this tonight, those words are so true. In March of 2016, I had the opportunity to return to Vietnam after having served there as a young 18-year-old Marine 48 years ago. I was selected along with 11 other Vietnam veterans by the College of Ozarks in Point Lookout, Missouri. They have a program called the Patriotic Education Program. They also selected 12 students from the college to go on this trip, and each veteran was assigned a student to mentor. To be honest, we were being mentored by the students also. And at this time, I'd like, Brian, would you come up here? And I want the student who went with me on Vietnam, Grant, to come up here with me. 6 members of the college faculty were also on the trip. And here tonight, the president of the college, Dr. Jerry C. Davis, the director of the Patriotic Education Program, Ryan Sisak, are here tonight, along with Natalie and Marcy. They came down today to be here. The student who I was honored to meet, Grant Talbot, is here tonight with his mother and father. They drove down from Missouri to be here. And tonight, also with me is my wife, who a few years ago so eloquently reminded me, shouldn't you be saying when she was reading my speeches, shouldn't you be saying my lovely wife? So let me rephrase that. And here tonight with me is my lovely wife, Linda. I do not have enough time here to talk about how special the college is. The students and their families are extraordinary, and I can't say enough how well we were all treated. The college has been involved with this program since 2008. Okay, now I talk about my return to Vietnam. We visited places like Can Tho, Saigon, Dong Ha, and even the city of Hanoi, and spent time at this infamous Hanoi Hilton. 2 of the veterans on the trip were U.S. Air Force POWs who were shot down in '66 and '67 and spent their 6 and 7 years at that place. I also had the pleasure to visit Hoi An, where I was first assigned 50 years ago, this month, and Quang Tri, Hue City, and Khe Sanh. I could talk about the Battle of Hue City, where I spent 26 days during the Tet Offensive of 1968 all night long, but it's not about me tonight. While at the Khe Sanh visiting the museum, a Vietnamese peddler approached me, and he was selling items on a tray, pieces of shrapnel, spent bullets, the cartridges of those bullets, the red star that the NVA wore on their pit helmets. But what caught my eye was a dog tag with the initials DB Freed, service number 2355824. And on it, the letters USMC, 3 lines down. I knew right then and there this was the dog tag of a U.S. Marine. And I was not going to leave without it. I must have spent 15 to 20 minutes haggling with the peddler the amount to purchase it. He saw a $50 bill as I pulled out my money, because I had Vietnamese money and US dollars, and he saw the $50 bill, and that's what he wanted. But I wasn't going to give him that right away. I must have given him $20 to $25 in Vietnamese dong to finally get the dog tag. And to be honest, I would have paid him the $50. As usual, Grant and I were last getting on the bus, because I never really wanted to leave a place that I had served with 48 years ago during the war. When we got back on the bus, I told everyone what I had done and read out the name. We headed that night to spend a night in Hue City at a hotel, where we would spend the next 2 nights. As soon as I got into my room, I went online, and the first place I went to the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Wall and put in his name, D.B. Freed, and found out that David B. Freed was KIA on 19 September 1968. Emotions hit me, and I did not know what to say or how I was really feeling. The next morning, as I headed down to breakfast, a few students and staff members rushed up to me and said, "Eddie, David was killed in Vietnam in September of '68 and was from Montclair, New Jersey. Now, I live in a town called Rahway, New Jersey, 20 miles away. Here I am, 8,000 miles from home, in a country I was 48 years ago, and I pick up one dog tag, and it's from a Marine who lived 20 miles from me. You can't make that up. Overwhelmed is putting it mildly. The quest to find his family would start when I returned back home. In April, I go on to Find a Grave website and type in his name, and I find it. He is buried in Long Island National Cemetery in New York. I saw that the site is maintained by his brother Brian, and there is an email address for him. I debate a minute or two what to do or what to say, and finally send an email to Brian to say who I am, what I have, and I almost blow it. I was putting together pictures and mementos that I leave at the wall of those friends and Marines and corpsmen I served with in Vietnam who were killed. My wife Linda had two cousins killed in Vietnam, Dennis A. Gaddy and Dennis J. Gaddy. And Dennis was on my brain. I received an email back from Brian, wrong name on the tags. I had typed Dennis instead of David. To say I felt like you wouldn't even come close to how bad I felt. I apologized to Brian with another email, but heard nothing and assumed it was done. A month or two went by and I had to start making this right. I reached out to various veterans organizations, my Marine Corps League detachment, and even local police departments. Nothing at all. I was the guest speaker this past March at a Marine Corps League mess night in Connecticut. And I've been doing, since I've come back, I would talk about my time back in Vietnam, and the dog tag story would come up. A Marine sitting next to me said, "Give me the information. I have a friend that does this sort of stuff." 2 days later, I received an email and I had the names and city locations of Brian, Rita, Deborah, and Diane. Two sisters were on Facebook, and I immediately sent them private messages. Weeks went by and nothing. I didn't know what to do and was feeling lost and defeated. One last shot. I called the Magnolia Police Department, and thanks to Martha, where is she? I can't thank this lady enough. I'm calling from New Jersey, and I got a story that you don't hear every day. And I know at the same time she was saying, "Man, does he talk funny?" But at the same time I'm thinking, I bet you she hears funny too. And because of her, the chief in the city of Magnolia, Texas, I am here tonight to return the dog tag of David to his family where it belongs. Some have said, "Why didn't you keep it?" Because it's not mine. Another guy said, "Why didn't you leave it in Vietnam?" Because it doesn't belong there.
Amen.
I did not know anything about David. He was born on the 18th of November, 1948 in Weatherford, Parker County, Texas. His tour started in Vietnam in January of 1968, and he was killed on 19 September of 1968 while a member of Fox Company's 2nd Battalion, 26 Marines. His MOS was 0351, anti-tank assaultman, the same one as mine. And now I know a little bit about him, and so do you, who are here tonight. I feel that at times it is my job to be a voice for those men who no longer have a voice. I hope I have done well. General George S. Patton said, "It is foolish and wrong to mourn the men who have died. Rather, we should thank God for those men who lived." And tonight, we should all thank God for and never forget men like Lance Corporal David B. Freed, a United States Marine, who was a son, a brother, and a friend to many. Thank you, and Semper Fidelis. Call Dr. Davidson up here. Brian. I want to give this dog tag that has been my dog tag chain since I found it in March of 2016. It never came off. My hands are sweaty, bear with me.
A good Marine wife.
Truly.
Smoke them if you got them. I didn't wear this dog tag every day since 2016, but every time I had something to do with a veterans organization or participate in a ceremony, I always wore it. And I never took David's dog tag off my chain. I looked at it and I knew it was real. It's the same size as mine, the same font, the same description information is in the same sequence. There were comments when I came back and I was talking about it, well, it's fake, they make false dog tags, they reproduce dog tags to make money. This wasn't a fake dog tag. I had somebody look at it was real, and I knew it. I knew it was real. Free DB 2355824. AB was his blood type. USMC, S was for the size of his gas mask, and his religion was Methodist. And tonight, I'm giving it to his brother, where it belongs. When the past couple of months, I didn't know what to do, how I was going to present it. Was I going to bronze it, put it on a trophy, put it in a plaque, put it in a box, you know? I said, no, give it to him the same way David got it, off the chain. So what I did over the past couple of weeks, I put a little photo album together of some locations that were pertinent to how this all happened. And I had made one up for David, for Brian, and the three sisters. First page is what I leave at the Vietnam Veterans Memorial, all my friends and Marines and Corpsmen who were killed. I make up one for each of them, put it on them on Memorial Day. Second picture is what I did. His name on the wall, I put the picture and the dog tag and had my wife take a picture of it. The information about David that's on the Vietnam Veterans Memorial website. The picture of the museum at Quai Son, where I picked the dog tag up. This is the entrance and this is the museum in the background. Now, while I was negotiating with the peddler, I wasn't taking pictures, right? So the photographer who was with us on the trip sent me 5 CDs of pictures. I went looking through them, and I found a picture with one of the POWs, John Furr, with his student Loyal. And in the background is a picture with me, Jana, one of the students, and the peddler as I'm negotiating for the dog tag. A picture of the dog tag. Last Thursday, I drove out to Farmingdale, Long Island to visit his gravesite. I found it, I put the dog tag on top, took a picture of it, put flowers next to it. And on the back side, which I didn't know at the time, his mother and father are buried there too. In New Jersey, they have a Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Homedale, New Jersey. This is a picture going into the entrance, and in the back of it, they have a circular wall with all the names chronologically by date of all the men and women who were killed in Vietnam on the wall. I took a picture of David's name, his birthday, and the date. And this is the flags outside the memorial, the American flag and the Vietnamese flag. So, Brian, this is a feel-good story. You know, there's so much BS out there, and it's maybe not a big thing. It's not like I found a cache of $100,000 and all that other stuff, but it's a dog tag. It means something. If you're in the military, you know what it means. And that dog tag belongs back to his family, rightfully so. Would you like to say anything?
I'm not much of a speaker.
Me neither.
It's funny because Miss Denise found out that David was from Jersey when she wasn't. We were living in New Jersey when he enlisted. My father was a Methodist minister. I've lived all over the United States. I was born in Utah. Two of my sisters were born in Detroit. One of the sisters was born in California. David was born here in Weatherford. It's where Mom and Dad graduated from SMU, and Dad's first church charge was in Weatherford. And he decided to enlist because he was on the top 10 of the draft list. Flunked his battery because God told him to. And
I'm sorry. It may have been 50 years, but I was 10 years old when he died. And I didn't get a chance to know my brother. And I missed him dearly. And I'm so sorry that these gentlemen got treated the way they did when they came back. Because nobody deserves to be treated the way any of y'all were treated. And I'm ex-Navy, and y'all should never have been treated in any way, shape, or form the way you were treated. And you all stand here and support the ones to come back now so that they're not. And that's where it truly shows how proud of men and women you all were, both then and now. And I thank you, Mr.
Don't call me mister, I don't have
I owe this man a thank you too, because he showed up in my door, and I looked out and I was like, okay. The first thing he said, do I have warrants? I knew I didn't. And like I told Eddie, sorry I didn't reply, but stuff on the internet, I don't trust. I'm a cynical, old farm, or whatever you wanna call
Okay, I
me.
get it.
But too many scams, and that's the first thing I told Chief when I first met him too. So, this means more than Eddie will ever know.